It literally felt like the Avengers. Like you guys were on set. I was just watching it.
You know what's so funny? Tim always says the Avengers.
He does.
Yes, that's a serious joke that he.
That's great.
My name is Jacob Kramer. I'm with Complex. Well, congratulations on the project. Catherine, I just wanted to jump right into it first with you. It must have been such an emotional roller coaster returning to the set almost 40 years after. Like, you share such a special relationship, specifically with the movie set. Like, this was one of the movies that helped jumpstart your career. It's also the place where you met your husband, Bo Welsh. What was it like returning to this set in Winter River nearly 40 years later?
I almost didn't believe we were doing it until we were there. Because I'd heard rumors forever, and then Tim actually called, but that was years ago, and conversation started. But it would be, months between any kind of contact about this. And then all of a sudden we were there. I had too much time and no time to think about it. And I just jumped in and fully trusted Tim, because he seemed so sure about what it was going to be, but open at the same time. So open with ideas and open to ideas. So it just immediately felt like it could be anything, but Tim knew exactly what it was going to be, and it was exciting.
That's what you need, someone with a strong vision.
Yeah.
Tim Burton's the man to steer that ship.
But open. He's not, in no way is he limiting, he's totally collaborative. Which just is so smart.
Obviously, joining a movie as iconic as Beetlejuice must have been such a surreal moment for you. When did the moment kind of materialize, or the magnitude of the moment of how iconic of the project that you were working on? Was it when you got the script, when you put on the costume, when you got on set?
Well, I definitely realized the weight of it when I got the script, because that was crazy. Tim hadn't said anything about the movie. I knew that it was happening it was the same writers as Wednesday, so they had told me about it, and I thought, oh man, that's so exciting, I have so much fun with that. And then he gave me the script, and I was like, oh, whoa. Okay, so now I have to think about this, and then we start getting ready, and I'd already worked with Colleen and all that before, so I think when I actually got on set and I was walking by and I saw the afterlife for the first time, that was kind of where it really set in, and then I had a panic attack. Oh man, how did I get here?
You hit it well. Very well.
I can't even imagine. I mean, walking through this floor alone, I felt transported. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Kind of makes you feel a little sick. It's
100%.
So
I was
like
walking
you can't
down,
believe it's an even floor.
I was walking down the hallway taking a video with my phone, and I was just like, wait, why am I stumbling? As a movie audience member watching it, I was trying to keep my composure. I'm just curious for you, being there actually on the set, was there ever like the biggest geek out moment that you had while on set?
It's funny.
It's so hard. There's so many.
Yeah, I just think you don't think that way when you're doing it.
Because everything is so crazy.
I hate to say it, but part of the reality is it's a job, and that you're there to do the best you can do, and to listen and to come up with ideas and do your part to help tell the story. It's so funny, and you don't think like, oh, the audience is gonna love this moment, or this is amazing what we're doing, because so much of it is editing too, right? But it felt great, and no matter what happened to it, whether people liked it or not, it was a wonderful experience. So it's just a bonus when people actually care to see it and then enjoy it. That's the greatest bonus.
Yeah, I would say obviously it's a bit different not having seen these characters before. Like there was something exciting about that, but I think it is a job ultimately, so that kind of wears off, and then you're just really focused on how you're gonna make the scene the best it possibly could be. But also every day you were walking onto a brilliant set and dealing with incredible practical effects that, not that you took it for granted, but you just understood that was the environment, and you didn't want to be
right. You gotta be cool.
Well, what do I have to do to make this gag work?
Right. Right. And not to say it wasn't the best job in the world.
That is my second question. It kind of segues perfectly into it. How did they convince you to return to the film? Because I know that Winona and Michael had been speaking with them. What were your requirements to return to Beetlejuice?
They didn't have to convince me. No, I just, once Tim and I actually got into talking about where Delia might be right now in this world, and what's going on in her life, and where is her art? How far is it? Has she achieved anything in the art world? And her relationship now with Lydia, and then with Astrid. The more we talked about it, you talked to Tim about his enthusiasm and his amazing ideas, just build all the confidence you need to just jump in.
Jenna, you've gotten to work with Tim on multiple projects. My question is, what did you learn about working on him with Beetlejuice that you didn't experience working with Wednesday? Like, what's the biggest difference between TV Tim and movie Tim? Is there any difference?
I think slightly. Well, Tim did create the look and feel and just the visuals for Wednesday. I think Beetlejuice is more of his. I feel like it looks a little bit more like his actual sketches and things like that. I think there's more space to be a little crazier with it. I know also with Wednesday we wanted there to be some sort of grounded aspect to it, or there's something about it, you get you're inside Wednesday's head, so there's some introspective moments and beats, and we kind of had that with this one where there was emotional things, but for the most part it was just chaos. It didn't matter. The world, you've never seen anything like it before, and I just felt there was a childlike excitement in Tim. I think there also was probably something really nice for him to work with people that he had worked with so many years ago, and he always speaks of his experience working on the original Beetlejuice so fondly that I think being able to see that passion and that kind of reignite something in him was really exciting and wonderful to see.
No, it felt like the Avengers. I hate to bring Marvel back into this, but it literally felt like the Avengers. Like you guys were on set, I was just watching it.
You know what's so funny? Tim always says the Avengers.
He does.
Yes. Whenever if Michael walked into the room and then Winona walked into the room and then Bob, a shrinker, walked into the room, he'd be like, "Okay, assemble Avengers." It's like that's a serious joke that he.
That's great. You got that. You got it.
There were so many moments watching it too where I just wanted to pause the movie, or just like, oh my god, there's so many.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to purchase the 4K quality at home and just rewind and look through everything. What is something that the fans might not notice upon first watch helped elevate your performance?
They might not have noticed I was in the movie.
That
And if
for
they
sure
watch
will
it
happen.
again, they might see me and understand me in some new way.
I would say probably just the people with strings and wires right off camera or controlling remote controls that you'll never see, but they were the reason why the fish were moving or why there was water dripping off the guy who drowned the entire time. There was just so much time and effort put into that, and they were always right there. Sometimes they're in the shot, hiding behind a chair.
That's awesome.
Or under somebody's body.
Yeah.
Some puppeteer is sitting under the body next to you.
Or
So great.
they're actually in the frame and they were just digitally cut out.
All right, they removed
the
them.
puppeteers in blue suits.
So the live effects are just so great to work with.
My final question before we wrap is, Michael Keaton was very vocal about wanting this to not include too much technology. Why do you both now, after looking back at this, feel like it was important for this movie specifically to have that DIY handmade feel?
Yeah, I can't imagine Tim was not also thinking that. Because that's in the first movie. He was using tricks that they developed in the 30s for how to make a ghost to appear or disappear, on camera. And all of that was definitely there. Tim's stop motion work.
Yeah.
He's very hands-on, very analog.
Very hands-on and loves the imperfection.
Yeah, but the imperfection, you've talked about that, how, if something's too clean and perfectly done, and in the digital world, it's often that way, because everything is just a tool. So there's great artists that will use that tool and others that'll just kind of make it flat, but when it's live and there are imperfections, it just draws you in, I think, and it's all the more exciting. But yeah, I really wanted to see the movie again right after I saw it, because there was so much that I wasn't involved in shooting. It's just, what was that? Yeah, how did they do that?
Well, that's all the time we have. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
of
you
course.
so much.
If they don't like it in your words, then F them.